Yes, MG, we woke up this morning to the news that Tommy Raudonikis, just a week shy of his 71st birthday, has passed away.
Yeah, I expected the music. I would have been fitting to the song then, Hey True Blue, because he was a larrikin. He was everything that rugby league was all about in the 70s and 80s. He's everything for me that Origin encapsulates, along with Arthur Beetson. They started this thing that is now a juggernaut in 1980 when Tommy Raudonikis was in his swan song of his career, in the twilight, playing for Newtown. He said, you know what, I'm going to captain the Blues. Arthur Beetson did the same. He was playing, I think, reserve grade for the Eels, and at 35, they both, Tommy wasn't 35. He ran out in the field, and they both gave us what we have today, 40 years later, because of two larrikins of the game. Two fantastic players, two tough players, none better than as a forward than Arthur Beetson, and none more cheekier or tougher or loyal than Tom Raudonikis. And R.I.P. Tommy, and all to all his family and friends and ex-teammates. We here at Triple M on the rush hour send our condolences big time.
Absolutely. You heard there some of the achievements of the career of Tommy Raudonikis, 239 first-grade games for Western Suburbs and Newtown, represented New South Wales, Australia, and went on to coach the Blues as well. No doubt we've got some special guests lined up who are going to speak about playing alongside, against, and being coached by Tommy. But, MG, you met the man on more than one occasion. You had a relationship with the bloke.
Yeah, well, I retired in 2000, and I then started on the circuit, the speaking circuit, which Tommy and Arthur Beetson owned. If you got on a gig with Tommy and Arthur, you'd crack the jackpot, because they would then say to the person who's going to book them again, he was good, give him a gig. So I've done about 30 with them two alone up in Queensland and in country New South Wales, and Tom Raudonikis always had one piece of advice for me. He said, "I wish I coached you." He said, "I wish I coached you." He said, because you know what was said to you? Don't change, mate. Don't you change one bloody bit. The institution will try and change you, but don't try and change, because that's how he played. He was a guy who, man, he played outside the rules. But back in the 70s, he had to.
Yeah.
He was tough as they come. And he's going to be missed. He's a great man. He's a beautiful man, a lovely man, and a fantastic footballer. And I've had a few people contact me today and come up with a fantastic idea about going forward with Origin. Now that the two guys who started all this are both gone, it's only fitting that we call the State of Origin trophy the Beetson Raudonikis trophy. You know, the Queensland play, or I think the Origin players play for the Wally Lewis medal. New South Wales play for the Brad Fittler medal. Let's have a trophy for the two guys who started it all. I
love that. I love that, and I, as you say, that because of the two players, I don't think you'd have an argument from either state.
No,
that's a fantastic idea, MG. I'd love to see the NRL and the ARL embrace that idea. The Beetson Raudonikis Shield, fantastic trophy. Tommy, for the casual rugby league fan, I guess the thing that strikes most famous in memory is of course the cattle dog.
I wanted a name for us to come to arms, to put a blue on. That's what I wanted.
He did. And some of the stories, when he coached, I know we're going to speak to Beaver Menzies about that later on in the show. He coached New South Wales between 97 and 98. When the Super League was on. So the guys who played Super League didn't have the chance to get coached by Tom Raudonikis. So he coached 6 games, I think, for 3 wins. And the stories I used to tell you about not just the games, but the partying, how he partied with the players was, you know, if you go home before I do, well, I'm going to drop you. Just stuff like that. Wow. He was a man's man.
Now I bet you really wish you were coached by Tommy.
He's a man's man. And you know what? Being close and intimate with himself and Arthur Beetson in them, 20 or 30 times was when I was lucky enough to be on the same bill as them as a guest speaker, they just take you in. They put their arm around you and say, come with us. And there's no two better men I've met in the game than Arthur Beetson and Tom Raudonikis, and today is a sad day in rugby league. And I know that this weekend the NRL will honour Tommy in a beautiful tribute, especially at Leichhardt Oval.
Yeah, on Sunday.
On Sunday at Leichhardt Oval against the Cowboys. I think that's going to be an emotional day, but I think the NRL, and we might check with Andrew Abdo later on about what they're having planned for the for this round because Tom Raudonikis is a big loss to the game.